Chapter 13. Liar, liar, head on fire. Hurry, call for help! Hector burst into the kitchen, shouting, his heart hammered in his chest, his lungs burned from the thick smoke. His family turned to look at him in surprise. His parents were at the sink, working in tandem, Mom washing the dishes and Dad drying them. Juan and Luca played on their phones at the table while Phil finished clearing the plates. Honey, Mom said, pulling her soapy hands out of the sink and looking worried. What are you talking about? The fire! Don't you see it? Hector said. The smoke? He trailed off and glanced back toward his room. The door gaped open. But there was nothing. No smoke. No fire. No voice. He inhaled, smelling the air, but it was clear and unpolluted. His family all shot him strange looks. Juan made a cuckoo sign with his fingers to Luca, making him crack up. Mom shot them a look that said, "Hey, cut it out." Dad whipped his hands on a towel and came over, pressing his warm hands to Hector's forehead. "Son, are you feeling okay?" he asked. "You've been acting kind of strange since you won the race." "Yeah, like stranger than normal," Phil chimed in, setting down the dirty dishes he was clearing near the sink. "And that's saying a lot." What do you mean?" Hector said, his heart still thumping with adrenaline. Phil scratched his head. He spent more time with Hector than the rest of the family. "Let's see, like jumpy and agitated, but also arrogant and full of yourself. Total mood swings." Dad chuckled. "Sounds like typical teen stuff. Is that it?" "I mean, he's like 12 going on 16, Mom added with a knowing shake of her head. "Yeah, and he's been talking to a girl," Luca added, ratting him out. "I caught him texting her." "Me too," Juan added. "I saw his phone. Her name is May." Hector swallowed hard. He knew his moodiness was far more than typical, and it had nothing to do with texting May or normal teen stuff. He and May were just friends anyway. No, what he was dealing with was not normal. He was seeing smoke and fires that weren't there. Not to mention talking to demons, hearing voices. There was only one explanation. Hades was haunting him because Hector broke their deal. Suddenly, upsetting the god of the underworld didn't seem like such a great idea. He should have given him the Zeus Cup. But he couldn't tell his family any of this. They were so proud of him. He couldn't stand to disappoint them. Plus, it was unlikely they'd believe him. They'd just think he was going crazy. You're right," Hector said, forcing the lie out. "I'm probably just tired and stressed. There's been a lot of pressure on me." Dad rubbed his shoulders. "Son, you just need to get a good night of sleep. I promise you'll feel better tomorrow." He turned to Phil. "Will you help your brother get to bed?" Phil led Hector back to his bedroom. "Hey, I know you're going through a lot, but I want you to know you can talk to me. I'm here for you. Always." Hector's heart flooded with guilt. He hadn't exactly been that nice to his brother today. They'd reached his room, and Phil helped him settle into bed. Hector slid under the worn-cut sheets, still feeling totally unsettled. He felt haunted. "Look, I'm sorry I've been acting all weird today," Hector started. "I thought winning the Zeus Cup would make everything better. But it's all so confusing." "Well, it's just a trophy," Phil said. "I thought it mattered a lot too. But what matters is that you worked so hard and earned it." That made Hector feel even worse. If his brother knew he had cheated to win. "But I didn't work that hard," Hector sputtered, feeling his mood shift. "Listen, you don't understand. I don't deserve it." Hector's words hung in the air. Phil gave him a look. "You know, I never thought I'd say this," Phil confessed, shaking his head, "because I know I pushed you super hard to win the cup. But I liked you better before." Hector felt like he'd been punched in the stomach. "You mean when I was 0, he snapped, "and nobody cared about me? You're just jealous because I won and you never did." Phil flinched, then shook his head sadly. "Hector, you were never a 0. "Easy for you to say," Hector shot back. "How would you know?" Phil gave him a squeeze on his shoulder and met his eyes. Because you've always been my brother, he said in a soft voice. A true hero isn't measured by the size of his strength, but but the strength of his heart.